The government, of course, is not a usual government like the ones you have all over Europe. And for that reason, it has against it practically everybody. It has against it the European institutions. It also has against it the local elites, which are closely allied to the European institutions, European bankers. It has against it big capital, people who have benefited from the crisis. But above all, it has against it the media. And the media have framed the situation in a way whereby it appears that the real question is not for or against this untenable recipe which we have experienced in the past 5 or 6 years. But the way the media have framed the question is not for or against this way of doing business, but for or against the prospect of living within the European family. So that's how they framed the issue. And the campaign they're waging is in favor of staying within the core of the European nations. And this has been a victory for them. Started this campaign, and as we speak right now, I sense that the issue has been framed along those lines. The government, on the other hand, has been hesitant in attacking this dominant conception, because it is not prepared to go far in attacking the European institutions, because they still entertain illusions in these institutions. This has been the strategy of the Greek government, staying within the European institution, which proves, on the other hand, that of course they didn't have a strategy of leaving the Eurozone, and they're doing all that precisely because they were prepared to leave the Eurozone. But because of this situation, it's a very difficult call to predict right now what is going to be the outcome, precisely because of this situation. If the question had been framed for or against austerity, I think it would be a unanimous verdict in favor of breaking with austerity and exploring alternatives, because alternatives exist. And such alternatives definitely would not isolate Greece. They would make Greece the center of European developments and processes which are already underway. Because Greece, I'm sure you know it perhaps better than me, that has inspired people all over Europe, like the possibility of introducing something different from predominant neoliberal policies. So this is a big challenge for the government and the left in the days that remain until the referendum to change the situation. First of all, there is a huge campaign by big capital in favor of the yes vote. The Confederation of Greek Industries is staging a campaign. There's an ad saying that what the government is trying to do is pull us out of the Eurozone, pull us out of Europe, put us in the company of Zambia and Zimbabwe. An ex-minister has shown to the people like a banknote from Zimbabwe saying that this is where they're taking us. They're showing and dramatizing like the queues in front of the ATMs of people pulling out money in a measure which of course is regular and has happened so many times in so many different countries. Everybody would welcome it, sort of pulling out a certain amount. Capital controls has been demonized by the media as like the end of the world, whereas all that it does is saying that people having made profits in Greece should not be allowed to take them out. This is the recapturing control of politics over the economy. It's what societies all over Europe are asking for against globalization and footloose capital. So there's a huge campaign, and they've spared no means for promoting it, that questioning the fundamentals of neoliberalism would entail the end of the world for Greece. Now, about the essence of the question, and about how people feel about the Euro, the Eurozone, the European Union, certain words have been invested with unique completely positive connotations, and certain other words have become demonized. That's very easy for the media to construct. If you're faced, and this is precisely the case with the European Union, the Eurozone, on the one hand, it become sanctified basically as something holy, something which is paradise on earth, even though clearly it is not. Whereas, nationalizing the banks or imposing bank controls become utterly demonized. So you don't go by the words. You explain to the people what it means. You explain to them that if you stay within the Eurozone, that means that you're going to have, and if you go by the strategy of attracting investment, foreign investment as a prerequisite for, registering positive rates of growth, that involves wages of 300 euros and pensions of 150 euros, as is the situation in the Balkans. Because Greece's productive infrastructure has been destroyed, first by the recession, but also because of European Union policies all these years. So you have to explain that, and if you begin explaining it and give yourself enough time to put meanings behind the words, things begin to change. And it's a challenge for the entire left to cease speaking with slogans and words which have become demonized, not because of the left's, the particular given historic left's responsibilities, but because you had the experience of the Soviet Union and other examples which have made a mess out of these words. You need to regain the meanings behind the words in order to explain to people what's in their interest. And to the extent that you do that, I think that the support is going to be unanimous. And Syriza itself is an example of it, because Syriza has been able to do that, but only in part. If they expand this, I think the support is going to be unprecedented. And it's going to surprise everybody. As Syriza itself has surprised everybody. I need to remind everyone that Syriza was at 4% of the vote, now it's at 36% of the vote. Just because it stood behind struggles, it gave an alternative. Now it needs to upgrade to push this strategy forward.